If you're wondering what Dark is all about, if you didn't understand all the storylines, you didn't understand all the lineages, you didn't understand kaun kiska bachcha hai, then that's not the point of this video. This is about what Dark means. So now I'm going to discuss with you the different themes of Dark. The first thing that you'll notice when the show starts is the duality. Human beings perceive everything as sets of two: male, female, God and Satan, good and evil, darkness and light, Adam and Eve. Of course, beyond these overt themes, there's also the conflict between the old and the new, and the conflict between coal and nuclear energy. So when we are looking at duality, we just think that Ulrich can either be with Katharina or with Hannah, and Jonas can either exist or Mikkel can live a good life. Hannah can either be happy with somebody or unhappy with nobody. Either the world has to be destroyed or it has to go on the way it always has. It's as if only one of two can exist. But as the show progresses, we find out that it's not about two. There's always three sides to everything. We think of the past and the future, but we never think of the present. We think of men and women, but never of those who are neither or both. Adam is the id that wants to destroy everything. Eve is the superego, which wants to maintain the status quo. But neither of them think of the ego, the middle path, the origin world which splits into the id and the superego. Jonas thinks that either he can exist or Mikkel and Martha can exist, but not that none of them were supposed to exist. Now this is all about duality and the rule of three. But to understand what these characters represent, we have to look at the biblical theme of the show. Of course, there's Adam and Eve who consider themselves the creators of the two dysfunctional worlds. If we look at the story of Adam and Eve, we realize that they were eternally damned for eating the forbidden fruit of knowledge. In Dark, it is the knowledge of the ability to be able to travel between time and dimensions which cause Adam and Eve to be eternally damned. Now, Jonas is named after the prophet Jonah, who was instructed by God to travel to Nineveh and tell the people there that they have to face God's wrath. Jonah instead chose to run away from God, but ultimately he had to relent and go to Nineveh anyway. But then God decided not to destroy Nineveh. Read up more about it. This is similar to Jonas's journey because he doesn't want his family to be destroyed and tries to run from his fate until he slowly becomes Adam and tries to destroy existence. But it doesn't work out, just like Jonah. Martha is also a character from the Bible, but it's not clear to me what she signifies because the only story from the Bible that I know of is of Martha who ignored Jesus when he came to her house because she was too busy with the chores. Somewhere it does represent Martha in the show because she's too busy conserving what's already there and doesn't see what has to be done. Of course, if you know more about this, please educate me in the comments. Of course, Adam and Eve are eternally fighting in this never-ending loop because they don't even know that paradise has been lost. Just like Adam and Eve in the Bible, Adam and Eve in the show give birth to a dysfunctional lineage. Now this brings me to the most important theme of the show, generational trauma. The entire Nielsen lineage, which we find out later isn't even supposed to exist, brings out that side of people that they are hiding from the world. It's Agnes Nielsen who makes Doris discover her sexuality. It is Tronte who becomes responsible partly for Claudia's broken home. Ulrich is the one who makes Katharina into a bully, and he's the one who brings out the narcissism that already exists in Hannah. Ultimately, this whole lineage represents the subconscious mind of Winden as a whole, all the things that Winden is trying to run away from. Besides this, the aspect of time travel also brings out the hidden trauma of each character. My favorite among all these character journeys is Katharina's because throughout her youth, she is tormented by her mother. Her issues never get resolved and all she becomes is a bully. And that's why when she goes back to the past, she is killed by the same wounds inflicted by her mother, quite literally. Regina, whose life has the recipe for happiness, ends up with an absentee mother, who is in turn the product of an absentee father. It's interesting to note that while on one hand Jonas inherits his father's sensitivity, he also inherits his mother's darkness and escapism. That's why when he can't have his way in the world, he wants everything to be destroyed when he becomes Adam, and he wants everything to be darkness. Not only is this the same as Hannah's need to destroy Ulrich since she can't have him, but it's also reiterated by her at the very end when she talks about how it would be better if everything turned into darkness. This is what she passed down to Jonas. At the same time, Marta is trying hard not to be anything like her parents. She's like a moral center, the superego. This show also delves into the taboo of incest and makes it clear that no matter how much some things make us uncomfortable, they will always continue to exist. Now, Marta's world, the second dimension, is supposed to be Jonas's wish fulfillment. But we find out that even in this world, Ulrich is a cheater, Hannah is still a narcissist who wants to destroy things in her way, and everyone is still sad until the apocalypse destroys everything. Clearly, this is not the ideal world. It's also interesting to note that the two dysfunctional worlds are created because Tannhaus's son refuses to make up with him and in the end dies, and hence the origin world splits into two. The show is basically telling us that we can't escape generations of trauma. We can only heal them. You'll find that on several occasions, many characters wish for a world without Winden, but somehow they refuse to leave Winden. Anyone who is born here never leaves. That is because ultimately Winden is Trauma Town. The word Winden loosely translates to an unending loop or spiral, just winding and winding. Everyone who is born here stays here because they inherit all the parental trauma which they can never escape from. In fact, Katerina wishes for a world without Winden even in the last scene, which is supposed to be a kind of happy ending. That is because no matter what universe we are in, we will always be stuck in the darkness of our memories. Winden is called a festering wound or a cancer on many occasions. That's because it's a metaphorical representation of Regina's physical cancer. Regina suffers from cancer in two of the three worlds. The cancer, which is a physical representation of her trauma, doesn't exist in the origin world where she has a happy family. We also realize at the end, when Waller is interrupted while talking about his eye, that we were so caught up in the drama of Adam and Eve that we never considered, or we never had the time to consider, what the lives of all the outside characters was like. Ultimately, I think it is Hannah who represents the darkness, who seems to be ready to give birth to another cycle of light and dark and trauma. Now let's take a quick look at the visual motifs. The main house in the show is always shot from the same angle on the outside, and when the inside is shown, usually it begins with the shot of the staircase, which makes the house look quite boxy and not homely at all. Quite cold, to be honest. The same thing happens even in Martha's dimension, where the staircase's placement changes, and that's how you know you're in another world. But it's still the same world because they are mirroring each other. Only at the end, when we are in the origin world and we are inside that house again, suddenly the camera is at a lower angle and everything feels a lot warmer and homelier. It never felt like that in that house before that point. Now, what does the yellow raincoat signify? The yellow raincoat is always worn either by Jonas or Marta. Yellow is a stark color that stands out. Often in cinema, it represents mental illness for that reason. But in dark, the yellow raincoat represents the fact that Jonas and Marta aren't supposed to exist. They are standing out because they are actually the wound. The yellow raincoat might also remind you of egg yolk, which actually represents the fact that these two give birth to the two dysfunctional worlds. Yes, Martha and Jonas do belong together because only they together can bring the origin world back. Only when they become one does the origin world actually exist. They are ultimately two sides of the same coin. Get it? And yes, there are hundreds of other motives, and you're probably wondering, Kiska baap kaun tha, like I said in the beginning. You know what? If you want to figure that out, that's great. That's what many filmmakers, especially for a show like this, want you to think about. इंटरस्टेलर, इंसेप्शन, एंड में ड्रीम था कि रियल था पता नहीं. These are questions that filmmakers put in there so that you try and figure it out over and over again when you go back to the film or the show. And that's great. But if it's driving you crazy or if it's making you feel stupid, then just let it go. This is all more Maya. Don't think about what happened. Think about why it happened. That's the thought I'm going to leave you with. Thank you so much for watching this video. I don't know how many of you are watching right now because not a lot of non-Indian content gets watched, but please leave your theories down below. Of course, there's a lot I didn't cover because how much can you talk about this show really? And please stay tuned. Next video onwards, I'm starting with my month in romance. Woohoo! So yeah, like, share and subscribe, please.